I guess we got one. Ooh, we got one more. Mining in the salt pits, or the as a wildering. Cool. You want to go and do hazard 4 for this since it's a mining mission?
No, I'm not ready, man.
All right. Well, I'll
Oh,
get
I
on
should
it.
go NG. I should go NG, huh?
Yeah, that'd be nice to get the platforms. And we can go and do the challenges you got afterwards. I want to just get the assignment done because I got my core kind of stuff I want to do as well, so I can work on that while you get the assignments. Yeah, go and grab the
Yeah,
tunnel rat.
I have not been looking at any of these new cosmetics.
Yeah, they're pretty good. You can actually get the season 1 stuff from crates and whatnot if you missed it, which is nice.
No, I 100% of the
Yeah,
season 1
same.
in the first month.
I got it up to like 170 by the end. I was like, I guess I'm done. But yeah, like it's cool. And with go back to remakes and remasters though, because I've been trailing off a lot. You got that. It's a good concept, and like the ones I've played, of course I've only played a couple, bear in mind, but the ones I have played work pretty well. And the thing though is that if you play it too safe, like with Spyro, it feels like it has no identity. Especially when you go take this, I guess like what 30-year-old game at this point, and then update it, but don't update like the core gameplay part, because you got like the different world design. I like the levels. The levels are pretty good, but the core gameplay loop of just collecting a bunch of random junk just felt kind of boring, and I guess just not the genre for me. But I just felt like as a game itself, it just had no real identity, unless you had nostalgia for it. I even wrote like a review for that. I should just go and get my review and I can summarize it.
Ooh! I just looked at the cosmetic tree. Ooh, that looks like a fucking Ratchet and Clank gun now.
I know,
That's
it's
awesome.
cool.
I just looked at the
There we go.
bulldog right away. That looks like a Ratchet and Clank gun.
Yeah, it does. Alright, well, I didn't make one, so
I dig it.
it's cool. Yeah. Actually, Ratchet and Clank games. That's nothing because I want to get all those because I played those on the PSP at my uncle's house one day.
Oh
he,
my
like,
god, the
had it.
PSP versions are the worst.
It was good. Well, I think it was one of the games made for PSP, but I don't remember. It was years ago at this point. But also get your tunnel rat. Come drink it. But like we were there one day.
Was it? I think it was Size Matters for PSP, and then the PS2 version
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a port of the PSP
Oh,
version,
great.
and it looks god awful for a PS2 game,
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was. Like I said,
and it plays
yeah.
really stiff because you're trying to do
Yeah.
what was made for a D-pad on an analog stick.
Oof.
Yeah, Size Matters PS2 port is horrendous.
I guess username checks out, right? But anyway, yeah, like with the Ratchet and Clank games, I got my PS4, so I was like looking up a bunch of games to wishlist and buy later, and I found that Ratchet and Clank only has 2 games on the shop. The like new one based on the movie, and then like the newest one for PS5, the Rifts Apart with the girl
Yeah.
long backs. I think Rivet is her name, and the others I guess just aren't there. There's not even like a collection. So I did a bit of digging and
collection
looked
was
it up, and I
PS3
found
only.
that there's like a PS3 versions, but they haven't updated it yet, and I got no clue why. Because it's like one of the best franchises. Like I always love those because I played on the PSP. That's like where I first played the game.
There's
and
some bugs with the HD remasters,
the Ultra HD.
especially the 4th game they sold as a separate remaster,
Rip.
and it had like model clipping issues and
Yeah.
just
Ooh,
faces disappearing and then random
Ooh.
disembodied eyeballs.
that's terrifying.
Yeah, there are a lot of texture glitches for
Yeah,
the
those are always
Deadlocked remake, or what's it called?
I got
I
no
for-
clue.
In the UK, I think it's called a Gladiator instead.
Yeah. Okay, so you got those. But I gotta get a PS3 to play them, or I guess a PS4 emulator for it. I don't know. But it's annoying because it seems like kind of a no-brainer to just at least port the games over. But I guess I just haven't done it yet. I don't know. But it's annoying though because, like I said, I played on the PSP. I think on their console they had like a PlayStation, I think 3 or 2. So I played a couple of games there. And of course they live multiple states away, so it was like a one-time, like a decade ago at this point. But it was like one of the games was like I kind of made like a mental note. I was like, okay, I need to buy these games for myself and get them because we've never really had consoles. Like we had a couple of Nintendo consoles, but that's about it. We didn't have like the good mainline ones that I wanted to get because that's what the games were. And of course, we finally got my PS4 now, but it's not quite what I need because I need to get the PS3 to play Ratchet and Clank and a couple other games. But like I know Journey is one of those games that actually made like a port, I think it is, to the PS4. They've actually found like there's like a collection with all 3 of their games, that game company games. It's like Flow, Flower, and Journey, which I thought was cool. So I want to get that one day. Because,
They don't have Abzu in there?
they didn't make Abzu. I don't think so.
They did.
Oh, then I guess not. I think it might be sold separately since it's a newer game, but yeah, like,
Yeah,
it's cool.
it
And I
was
want to get that. I'm gonna go find it again because I think it was like a physical disc I found
Wait,
because I like my favorites on disc.
Abzu's actually on PC now. So is Journey.
Yeah, I
They're
played
all
it
on
PC.
Steam.
I know. I have Journey on PC, but I gotta buy multiple. I need my PlayStation trophies. And my
Right.
gamer score.
That's my only complaint about Steam and like PC gaming is like
The achievements
I
too.
want people to see all my
No.
achievements.
I mean, they can if you set up a profile. I have mine set up like that, but people just don't visit my profile.
Oh, like it's not like you can't go in and like see their achievements and like, or is
And, like,
this
a big
is this
list?
a good achievement or like you
Yeah.
literally booted up the game achievement?
Yeah, see, you can go with Steam. I'll have to check, but you can like go to their profile and check the achievements per game. But like, you can't see it all in one big list unless you use an external website like True Steam Achievements, which has been annoying, but oh well. But yeah, like with the Steam achievements though, it always felt kind of because like you got like gamer score on Xbox and you got trophies on PlayStation, so it feels slightly better to get an achievement there because you get like a cool little trophy icon, which does nothing, but it's just cool.
Game Store has achievements.
Epic Games, no one cares about those. Even
Exactly.
the games that support it, nobody cares about them. I've never heard of any of them, but I don't know.
Man, the only one I got Epic Games for was Wonderlands,
Oh, great.
and I have now uninstalled that.
Nice.
Disappointment.
Yeah, see, there's been several games I wanted to get that went Epic exclusives. I was like, well, I'm never going to buy that then. Just because I forgot about the
Borderlands
game.
3 was initially exclusive to Epic,
That's new.
and I didn't have a working PC, like a good PC at the time, so
Yeah.
it didn't affect me.
I really hate how people keep doing that. It gets super annoying because you got the whole point of PCs to not have exclusivity. You have choices, but now they're like going against that, and it's really irritating. Not to mention their storefront is just stupid. Ooh, Morkai, you pop on that. But like their whole storefront is just garbage. Like, I mean, it's not as bad as other launchers at least, but it's still terrible. It's like a Walmart version of Steam. I need a platform here, and there's dirt here too. Yeah, it's just
Right, and then there's more right back here as
but
well.
like going back to exclusives, like it's stupid on its own, but it's also because it kills all the hype for the game. Because like the first couple weeks of a game's launch are like when you sell a ton of copies, especially for indie games. Like you kind of for indie games, you rely on that hype. You do the marketing, and then people go buy the game on day one, and sometimes they won't play it, but they won't refund it, so you get to keep the money from it. And but if you do Epic exclusive, basically nobody's gonna buy a game. They're gonna just forget
Exclusivity
about it.
only benefits the store runner. It does not develop. It does not help the developer. If
Yeah.
anything, it hurts the developer, which is why I don't.
See, Epic even
understand
brags
that.
about their 12% cut, but whenever somebody brings it up, I'm like, whenever somebody brings it up, I go, yeah, that's good, but a better cut isn't useful if you don't sell copies, you know? Like, you have to
Right.
actually sell something to get that.
Like, who cares if I got 20% instead of 15 if I'm
yeah,
losing
exactly.
20% of my sales?
Yeah, it's like 12% on Epic and 30% on Steam, and I do agree that Steam's 30% cut is pretty steep, but at the same time, it's kind of worth it because you get literally the biggest gaming like the gaming market, like on all of PC. It's got like 150 million active users a month, which is insane, and you get all the cool Steam features like the workshop, the achievements, Steam's API. I think they can even host servers for you, and a couple other things. You get the cards and the collectibles and whatnot. You can get more money from.
Yeah, those I haven't been able to like
Yeah, and of course-
wrap my head around.
You got the Steam Marketplace too. It's like if you sell cosmetic stuff, then you can get it in the Steam Marketplace. Like I know TF2 and Dota 2 kind of rely on that because Valve does take a cut of all market transactions, but it's like way smaller than the sales are. I think it's like 10%. I want to say.
Yeah, there's
and
a
that
huge
generates more
market with CS:GO as well.
What?
There's a huge market with CS:GO as well.
Yeah. You get that, and like you get a whole community, and of course the community stuff too. Like the community features, I've never used them a lot, but Steam discussions are still really active. That's kind of like one way to gauge how active a game is that in Steam charts, because people post on discussions and also like the modding and whatnot, and it's good because like Steam Workshop is one of their best features. It could use some work, yeah. It got like better moderation, maybe better filtering and whatnot, but it still works really well. Like I've only ever had it go down like once or twice when there's maintenance going on, and I just forgot Steam has maintenance every week, like on Tuesdays. Actually, probably gonna start soon. I will just forget, but it works like 100% of the time otherwise, and it's just annoying how Epic Games has not got that. They've got nothing. They got Fortnite and like the Unreal Engine, and I guess that's it. Like nobody cares about that otherwise.
It's OS comparable to or launcher, I guess, comparable to the Switch.
Exactly.
What does it do?
It launches
Launch
games.
game.
What is my purpose? You launch Fortnite. And you don't even need the launcher. You can just launch it from the desktop, which Steam lets you do too. People always complain like, oh, you can't do that with Steam, but yes, you can. I've literally launched Terraria through the Steam files before. You don't have to have Steam open unless you want to use Steam's features. That's the point of a game launcher. It's also a game store. I mean, I personally launch things through Steam because it makes it easier to swap games. I hate having a bunch of desktop shortcuts, but I know KT Man doesn't do that. Like, he doesn't have Steam. He uses the shortcuts instead on the desktop.
Ow.
Yeah.
I fell.
And of course, when the game has to update, I don't think it works, or it'll be like, hey, update the game first. But everything does that. Like, even consoles do that, where it's like, hey, you need to update this game before you can play it. So I don't know what they're whining about. They're just like making up stuff to whine about at this point. Yeah, it just gets annoying. So hopefully Epic will stop doing that, or at least they'll learn. But I think they've actually lost money on all the free games they sold so far, so that's good at least. Of course, they like to buy the license to give the game away for free for however many millions, which is nice.
Yeah, like they have Borderlands 3, I think was one of their recent ones.
Good to go.
And like that game's still like $60 and all its DLC is full price.
Yeah.
So you're just giving that away for free?
I mean, hey, might as well, right? Stonks.
People are gonna take that for sure.
Yeah, it's like the Epic is just that launcher where you're like, I guess it's a free game. You like remember it like halfway through the month. You're like, oh yeah, there's a new free game. I'll go claim that and never touch it. I don't know. I'm like a hoarder. I'm like, I have to have it. So I did actually play a couple of them, but it was just annoying because I couldn't like take screenshots and whatnot like on Steam, and it really bothered me.
Let's see. Other games I have I need to finish. Project Warlock, Dusk, and any of the New Blood games. I think I got the collection for them, and then I never finished them. So like Dusk, a Medieval, Ultra Kill.
Yeah, I've heard about those. I've heard about like Dusk and Ultra Kill. They sound like pretty good for the genre, because I'm not really into the first-person genre or FPS genre. I mean, when it's just like just a pure FPS, you gotta kind of combine it with something like a Portal.
They're considered movement shooters.
Yeah, those things.
They're all about flow.
Yeah, I'm not really into that. I'm just not good enough to get good at it, I guess. I don't know. But it's
I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but
No.
it does make me feel good.
It makes the brain chemicals go burr, yeah. That's always good. But it's just one of those games where like I'll play it if I find one for like free or whatever. I'll go play it for a bit and then kind of drop it like forever after that, because it's just like you're going to do the exact same thing each time. Which of course every game's built on gameplay loops, but it feels way more loop-y in movie shooters, because that's literally the whole gameplay is just moving and shooting. So. But yeah, is there anything else in this room? I'll spitball infector right there. I can ping it properly. There we go.
When they're like just single-player FPS games, I don't have to worry about content drops or multiplayer features or anything like that. They
Yeah.
can focus on like the set pieces and like the actual like the experience and the impression of each encounter.
Yeah.
Just like the map design, the exact enemy placements, enemy design.
Yeah.
It's like they're only focused on one way of interacting with it, as opposed to like something like Deep Rock. Like you have to balance for, you know, is there one of these enemies? Is there a whole horde of them? Do you have one people to fight them? Do you have four people? Do you
Yeah.
have all these weapons?
And see, the game's procedural too, so they had, I guess they had a bit more work to do, because it's to account for it not only in a vacuum, but in the terms of gameplay too. Like with the Nemesis, people were complaining about how it works, but there's also bugs with it. Like it would pick you up way too early, or when you're way too far away. It's kind of hard to understand if your game sound is low, and also in general, like it kind of sneaks up on you. It digs through terrain and so on. So like I've had one time where it dug like straight to me and kind of surprised me.
It does fucking what now?
Yeah, it like digs towards you like bulks do. It's really cool. It also shows up on the map as like a triangle, which we don't have one here, but it's like a little yellow triangle thing. It's pretty good. But you got that, and then you got a balance
Where
game
is
around
the
that.
rest of the
I
cave?
have no clue. I think this is the last room, maybe, or I'm blind.
Did we just like
Oh, found it.
get too distracted?
Yeah, I'm just. It's also Azure Wheel, so.
True.
Yeah, with a Deep Rock or any procedural game, I'm gonna use this as an example since we're playing it. But if you go like with Minecraft and Terraria and whatnot, they're all procedural. You got to balance the game not only like I said in a vacuum, but you got to balance everything in terms of the gameplay. Like in Deep Rock case, you got the player scaling, the level design, the mission type, like the waves, like the big waves that happen, and enemies themselves, because like wardens, for example, will summon nearby enemies, because if they didn't do that, it'd be kind of pointless, because why have a buff enemy if you can't buff anything, you know? It's like why have a healer if there's no one to heal? Of course, I think they gave damage resistance, but it's the same concept.
I think when I started, like one of the issues I ran into is I didn't like have people to play with, and I just wanted to experience the game first player and just like take my time.
Yeah.
They're like how the cave generation was at the time. You could not do that in Azure Wield as a solo gunner.
Yeah. And see, now the game's kind of balanced for that because you got a community, and there's still some people who play solo. But Bosco does help a lot, but he can only do so much. Especially if you're not scout, you have no players you can't see. And I don't think there's much they can do around that, because this is a multiplayer game. They've even said that they design it with co-op in mind, because that's the point of the game. So if you're going to be playing solo only, you're kind of handicapping yourself, and you can just go ahead and avoid the stuff that gets harder. Like, I go avoid Azure Wield when I'm solo, because if you're not scout, it's really hard to do things in. And even as scout, it's still annoying.
Right. Other games I need to finish. Wuppo. Wuppo's great. I love Wuppo.
I tried that out one day.
I was. Here's the thing. I was playing it with my ex.
Yeah.
And like, I only played it with my ex. I would not like play it on my own time.
Yeah, I think you told us about that one time. But yeah. I remember trying it out. I was like, this isn't bad, and I just kind of forgot about it.
It's carried by its charm.
Yeah, it's like a very cute.
And like game. It's not supposed to be like super deep gameplay. It's all about the moment to moment, like the gags and the story, the little immersion. Yeah, Turnip Boy commits tax evasion is the same. First, it has an amazing title, but secondly, it really relies on its kind of humor and the absurdity of the whole thing to carry the game, because the gameplay itself is kind of just Zelda, but with way less combat. But it's very funny. Like, I think it's great. It's like probably one of the most comedic games I've played, but it's just, of course, it's also it's the absurdity of this sentient turnip committing tax evasion. You watch him commit tax evasion, and then the mayor's like, hey, don't do that, but he just stands there and doesn't try to stop you. And it's really funny, because it's just like, what game would do that, you know? Of course, I guess I can't really explain it. It's been a while, but further out, I'd say it's on Game Pass, which is where I played it. It's cool, but it's just very, very unique. Kind of charming and funny, but like there's games like that I've noticed I don't play as much, because like they're just kind of carried by the one thing, and if they don't do that one thing really well, or if it gets tired out over the gameplay, then it gets kind of boring. Like, you can only do so many jokes before it gets like not funny, you know? And like a lot of those games that like write off a charm, I prefer to play with someone, or like have someone watching with me.
Oh, we can get that duo YouTube channel. We play funny games with the Funny Game Boys or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of a solo person. I've just kind of been solo in gaming, like pretty much always. I only own a couple games that have multiplayer, and even then I don't play multiplayer in them. This is like the only game I play with people, and I think it's just part of the way multiplayer is designed, because most games just kind of add multiplayer. It's kind of like a selling point. Not looking at really poor. We just shove this in Bethesda style.
Check in a box.
Yeah, like they will make it work and whatnot, but it's not like the game isn't really designed around that or built with it in mind, you know? You missed a dirt patch. Cringe.
Oh well.
I'm gonna go through it.
I have all the season 1. I have all the cargo crate shit.
Yeah, but I want my XP with as a machine event, dude.
Oh, I don't have cores.
Then just get a good course. Easy. Actually, you should have the weekly core hunt. We gotta get that. After this, we gotta do the core hunt and get those cores. I've got like 22 blank cores, but I just haven't found events. Yeah, this is like really tightly packed. I don't want to dig through it anymore.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I have a rocket jump.
Got him. Yeah, like well, with multiplayer games, so like I'm gonna say like Factorio is kind of the main example, where that does it pretty well, because you got to like play the game and build factories while also designing around everyone else's wrong way of building factories, you know? And then you gotta do that, and it's just kind of fun with that. Of course, I don't really have anyone to play with it, and I tend to just not tell people I play factory builders, because everyone's always better than me, and it feels bad. But that multiplayer system is pretty good, because I think they actually didn't intend for it to be in the game, and I guess they like added it because people requested it. But for what it is, it's pretty good, because you can go customize things, and just the gameplay complements it really well, kind of by accident, because you got to design a big factory setup and all the automation and whatnot, while also working around everyone else's design, because they'll be kind of making their own thing. Like, I don't know if you've seen the video, a guy made a video where he got like I think 100 or 1,000 people. There's like 1,000 people on one server, and they beat the game in like a couple hours because everybody specialized in one thing. Like they had one team for mining, like one team for I think like coal mining, one for iron and copper, and so on. And they just destroyed the entire game in like an hour. And I think even the developers saw it and were impressed, but I could be wrong. But like with that, it works well. But with something like Minecraft, for example, like I've got my own Minecraft server that I run my mod pack on. Hashtag shameless plug. But that game's multiplayer it feels vestigial, especially on a server, right? Because it feels like you're just playing the game by yourself, but there's sometimes other people there, like in an MMO, you know?
Yeah.
And I've never liked games like that where I guess Minecraft's kind of the only example I got because I don't think the game was really designed with multiplayer in mind, or it was made kind of a core team where you got like your team of friends, your group of friends, and you're on the server and doing whatever. But when you're on a server, I guess kind of a public one, it's nice to chat, but it just feels kind of added on and kind of like I could just be playing solo and have better ping, you know?
Yeah.
Because like even on my server is an 8 GB server, and it only ever has like 4 people at most at the same time, and I still get tick rate lag every so often. But when I do the single player world, it doesn't happen. And
oh my god, I got to claim
nothing.
perk points.
Ooh, goody, more perk points. Hog, best things. I got the cooker, goody. All right, unlock it. Yes. Oh, pretty good. All right, so I will upgrade you later. But I got my wave cooker. That's pretty cool.